Hi folks, and welcome to my review video for the Warhammer Chaos and Conquest game released by Tilting Point in December the 14th, 2018. This is available on Steam, which is where I'm playing it obviously, but also where I mainly play it on the iOS or an Android. So it's not too bad for a phone game while you're bored. So let's have a look at obviously the requirements graphics wise are not particularly great for it. I've kind of increased the settings. I mean, there's a lot of options to change the graphics, so obviously I've edited the resolution and set everything up to higher qualities, but you don't have to have it running like this if your laptop or computer is old and decrepit. Then you can set it how you need it. So it is supposed to be a free-to-play game. It's very hard to play that way. There are people on here that pay a lot more. I have invested a little bit into this game, but if you check the player board, you will see that I am still only all the way down in 18th on power. Granted, I am holding on to a little bit of power so I can jump, but you get players that obviously are spending, you can see by these big jump ranks. So it's free to play, but as we go into here, as always with these games, there are tons of offers on, sort of like going up to £80–90 or dollars for packs for troops or for bundles and warpstone the currency. The one thing about this game is there are a huge amount of packs to purchase. I mean, that's just on the featured. I mean, then you go into bundles, and then there's a whole load of more bundles on here. My account's set to Taiwan, by the way. And then there's also pledges that you can buy for daily offers, and then obviously the pointless warpstone packs, and then even daily offers where you can pay for these daily offer packs. So the game is customized for people who are impatient, can't wait for the build queues, because it's one of those games where you're base building and everything that you build when it starts off at lower levels, you know, to upgrade these buildings, it's a reasonable time. I mean, it says 4 hours 36. You can get like 20 helps from your line, so that will come down probably only like an hour if a lot of people are online, and I can auto complete it at 40 minutes. So these things aren't too bad, but then you sort of get up to like the higher levels, and then you're talking about 83 days to increase that building. It gets a little bit crazy. And I think this building's probably about 300 or 400 days for the central base. So yeah, it is one of those games where everything starts to take longer. Even producing troops starts to take, you know, 2 days for a batch of 1,500 troops. So everything starts to slow down to a halt, but it's good for just clicking on every so often, doing some stuff, and leaving it, or if you're bored at work, doing bits and pieces. So when the buildings are completed, like here you can see they say 42 minutes. Actually, I can auto complete those buildings, and then I am slowly just upgrading them. Again, it says 16 hours, but actually that would be maybe an hour or two if all of my alliance are on to speed it up. So the rest of the game, that's the base building aspect. Build everything, it takes longer. Then this is the world screen. There's two elements to it. There are killing, using your army to kill things, and then using your hero to kill things. So there are set armies on the map. For some bizarre reason, there's the closest one. Somebody's trying to kill it. That's no good. Let me find another one that's closer. So here, like this level 3, I can choose to attack this army. It tells me its power, and I can select one of my armies. I don't actually have a preset saved on this. I normally play on my phone, so obviously I don't have all of my preset options on here, which you can save here, but I can just send whatever and send it off. And then the army goes, and it sort of like takes X amount of time depending on the unit speed. It kills it, and then it will come back. And that is the army side to it, killing troops, getting loot drops to upgrade and build things. The second side of things are foes, which are foes for your character to come and attack. So like here, center gore, you click this, only your champion goes off, you get to kill it, and it comes back, and you get different drops again for gear, depending on how high the monster is, and that uses a special resource here called stamina, which is just for attacking these foe creatures. Then you also have gear here that you can craft, and you can add on to your hero, and they do different things. So this is my like gain stamina build. You can have different builds saved up for attacking or for defending here. and the warpstone is the in-game credit. Units differ from level tier 1 to tier 5. When you build them, tier 1s take way less time up here, like marauders, but they're much weaker, tier 1, all the way to at the bottom. If they're colored, then I have them unlocked. If they're not colored, I don't have them unlocked. These ones take tier 5. Obviously you can tell the time difference between producing these. There are frequent update releases. The game, maybe every month they try and have like a patch with maybe some new armies, some new units, or retweaking, or a new warlord. So they do seem to be updating new stuff. They're often off the mark, and they often make huge mistakes, and then Discord lights up with complaints, and then they say, oh, it's the first time we're going to do this, and we need to get your feedback before we change things. So their feedback is a bit slow, and they kind of make obvious mistakes that as a game dev you think they won't be making anymore. So they've made like a whole special world, and it activates once every month, and you can go and attack all of the other big players on all of the other big servers inside the land of Ulthuan. But what happens is the big players from the huge, biggest servers that have been playing it for like 2 years, they just dominate and they just control everything in the area, and they take all of the cities, you know, the biggest 2 or 3 servers, and everybody else kind of is just around, you know, ducking and diving, trying to survive. So the game devs, I don't want to be too mean to them. There is a lot of money grabbing, and there's a lot of focus on every update seeming to want to make people spend more money. But other than that, it's a playable game. You can choose to play it minimal spending. You can choose to go free. It's doable. I have people in my alliance that are free to play that are still really strong. If you get in a good alliance, then you can get a lot of event prizes, because there's events and challenges that you have to succeed to, and you can get gold rank, and when you get gold you sort of like get specific prizes, and there's some that we just finished a special event over the weekend, and this event, a Slanesh Warlord event, and when you got gold in that, then you actually got speed ups for everybody in your alliance. You kind of got these special spoils, and for every person that got gold, you end up with about 10 hours of speed ups, but there's 50 people in alliance, so you get 30, 35, 40 people getting those golds and 400 hours speed up. So it does add up. It is possible to play it free. Graphics wise, well, this is as good as it gets. You can zoom in, you can see the units, and you can zoom out. That's about it. As for combat, graphics for combat, well, what combat? You see my units went over there, it killed the army, and then it came back, and that's as exciting as the army gets. I'll show you again. I could just put anything in here actually, but let's say I go with just my highest power and I just send that army out. This is as exciting as the melee combat gets, and it's disappointing because I've played games like Vega Conflict where you build your units, you customize, there's a lot of variance about the ships and fleets you build, and then you get into combat and actually you're involved in it. You know, you're moving those units around and you know, controlling that battle, and as a smaller player you could actually do reasonable damage on a bigger player because the more damage their ships were, then the longer it took them to heal. So you could play smart and do stuff. This game, yes, basically this guy is going to walk over to here, he's going to hit this army, and then that's it. In fact, I can zoom into as close as we can get for this exciting action of my champion avatar hitting the goblin army avatar. So that is disappointing, and if you're looking for something a bit tactical, then unfortunately this game is just all about numbers. If I have a tier 5 marched army with the end gear stuff, and I have all the best gear and things, then I can probably attack a player who's all tier 3 base, and I won't take hardly any losses. So it's not particularly very exciting. There are options in it to warband things, so if they're higher levels you can set up a warband, and you and however many fit. Oh, there we go. Quality tactical play. which for a game that advertises itself as a tactical game is pretty disappointing. The same thing happens when you do the foes. As for the warbands, when you launch the warbands, you can go and everybody can join into your warband from your alliance. You can launch that warband and you can kill bigger players, and then depending on that player is how easy he's going to be. So unfortunately these top players here are going to be virtually impossible to solo, and even if I was going to do a big warband with maximum amount of people, I'd still probably struggle to kill them in one go. I'd probably need 2 or maybe 3 warbands to sort of like break them down safely. And these guys are all sort of like level 31s and 32s, as you can see. I am level 30. It shows it on my base keep here. But then you get different players who play different ways. So say for example, there's a chap down here, and he is only level 26, but he has near enough the same amount of power as me. So he's much smaller base, much slower on the the rituals. So that means that more of his power is going to be troops. So I can take a guess. It also means though that if he manages to be unbubbled and he's killed, there's more risk of permanent death because of how the game mechanics work, in that you have a limit of how many wounded troops you can have. So if somebody attacks you and they kill all of your troops, I can hold 2.9 million, but actually my army is 2.962, so I would lose a small amount of troops. But obviously I can upgrade those a little bit more to fulfill that requirement. So gameplay wise, graphics wise, it's a little bit disappointing. There's not a whole load. As for sound effects, we're pretty much in the same ballpark. I mean, I click a building and I get a noise, and if I click, you know, this building, I get the same noises. Exciting. If I go out into the world, it's the same thing. You know, that's as good as it gets, and I get a little battle sound as we had before, and a whoosh when somebody offers help. So yeah, disappointing as well on that front. So why do I play it? I play it because it's a nice, easy, simple game that you can play pretty mindlessly. The groups out there are pretty fun, so you can, you know, if you get into a decent alliance, there's a good chat network, and there's always the world chat talking about fun stuff. It's kind of fun, you know, there's censors in there, so everybody's trying to break the censor rules using different words, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, and every so often you do have big events, sort of like every 2 weeks. There's big server events, or there's big region war events where you're fighting other groups from other servers. So it's not too bad. But there are better games available. Why am I doing this video? Well, I'm doing this video because in the next couple of weeks I was planning on releasing a few more videos to do with tactical play specifically, and I thought it would be a bit weird just to add those videos without at least having a review being added first. So here is our review. If you're interested in the game, then play the game. If not, then don't. There are new servers open frequently, so you won't be landed on my server. When you create your account, you would be sort of like on the youngest server down here, wherever the newest server is. They kind of mix this all up just to make it not particularly very easy, but I'm sure there is a youngest server here somewhere. Maybe it's this one? No. Established. Established means that they've been there for a while. Maybe they're just about to open up a new one, a new server. So you are safe. You're not going to be with a whole load of huge, massive players. But you know, if people are whales in there and they're going to spend, then they're going to end up being much bigger than everybody else. But I'm going to be doing some updates. I'm going to be doing some releases on tactical play, how to make the most, and certain builds that are really useful for you to use in your gameplay, and hopefully that will help. So I will see you in some future video releases, and I hope you enjoy Warhammer if you choose to play it. Goodbye.